or I'm looking over here in the chat, but I'm not moving my head like that. It's not because I'm not paying attention. It's because they need to put that clock right in front of my face. Haps, folks. I love all of you, but, just pop it up on top of the screen there because people comment, dude, you look shifty-eyed. And I want to be trustworthy. I'm Revolution MacInnes. This is the Rev Mac Live Pop-Up Film Festival. As you can see on the screen, we're in Chicago, Illinois. This is really a celebration of filmmaking, the craft of film, working professionals in film. That is a huge theme, really across the board for me, from musicians to filmmakers to to screenwriters to everybody. There's a whole world where you can make money in filmmaking and nobody will ever know your name. And nothing wrong with wanting them to know your name. You want to be Steve Spielberg. I think that guy's important, Steven or something. You want to be that guy? Go for it. But a backup plan, I'm a dad. I've been a dad for a long time now. A backup plan is always a good thing. And you can learn a lot about your backup plan here. And if you need a phone case, folks, right there, Scooch case right there. They sponsor us, and I know I promised to have a commercial made by now, but I haven't. So Scooch case, somebody wants to make one for me? Fantastic. I'll give you, I don't know, a penny of this multi-billion-dollar empire that we're building here. Now I'll give you $1. How about that? Scooch case, great cases. Got a really nice little feature there to hold on to it. You can tilt it on it, every direction. Yeah, drop it 10 feet. It's going to be good to go. At least that's what it's rated for. But listen, scoochcase.com, check them out. They're, supporters of the program. You can support me in a couple of ways. Buy a Scooch case, let them know you bought it, so they'll pay me. And then you can give us some coins. So if you've just joined or you're seeing this on the replay, you can still do it. You can give us some coins. Those are like little awards from 15 cents to, $75, I think you can do. But then you can also sponsor us. If you click on, they'll be somewhere on the screen there for you that says you can sponsor us. And if you want to know more about me and my mission, DM me on Instagram because we're doing a lot of fun stuff here. But to the meat of it, to the heart of it, tonight we have our film festival. And I'm really lucky because I see Roger Green is already out there in the audience. And Roger brought us Mr. PL Sweets here. And PL, you and Roger go pretty far back, right?
We do.
Yeah.
We do.
So I gotta say thank you to Roger. We just had a great film festival the week before, and Roger's just got a very fun, very well made freshman short. His first big effort at something, and man, Roger, great job. It's just so fun, and I do need to talk to you. I want to get on the set of your next feature and get some behind the scenes exclusive stuff so I can have it on the show. So I'm going to need to fly out to New York one of these days, I think. But PL, how long have you been doing film?
I've been doing film about 5 years. Started doing a couple of music videos. I actually did the first couple of music videos I did for Roger, aka Mr. Roger. I did for him.
Oh, nice.
And then decided to do my first short. So this is actually my first short as a
really
director. Yeah.
This is your first short directing?
Yeah.
Shit, I've seen this film. I mean, it's a good movie.
Thank you.
Yeah, very nice. Very nice. I did not know that. Well, let's jump in with all right. So I have to talk about which I got to make sure I'm pulling in the right one. This is the right one. The Amanda and Keith. That's the one. Unmute the right one. There we go. Keith and Amanda. I think, Roger was probably through Clubhouse. And then, of course, Roger gets us PL. But you two, you're straight, I think, Instagram. I probably was doing something like a search or something on Instagram for like shorts or I bet it was black filmmakers and shorts. That's what I do a lot, Latinx and all that. So I'm pretty sure I just saw you guys and just what did I see? I saw the grocery store one.
Oh.
Yeah. And because technically this is a music video, actually, it's not a film, but
Right.
since I'm in charge, I brought it in as a film tonight because you guys did such a nice job and you're like such a cute couple. Like, I mean,
Thanks.
seriously, like, I think you would agree with me, PL, that if we just,
It could be all about them. Easily.
if we just kept them on the screen and they just talked about shit, we'd get good ratings because they're look how cute they are together. You know what I mean? So, I'm not a dummy. I know what to do for ratings. So, but it's going to be fun getting to know you and getting to know your stories and the stories of filmmaking because really that is what this is all about. And as we're waiting for Darion, who I understand if he's tardy because he's at a party in New York with his family and none of us getting paid for this stuff yet. So that's
So
why we
he's
don't
in
have
New York,
cash
huh?
prizes. But why don't you Keith and Amanda tell us a little kind of quickly how you ended up not here, but making these music videos and everything. I don't think you guys have been married forever, right?
No.
Fairly new.
Yeah, it'll be 2 years actually in a few weeks.
That's what I thought. You know how I know? Because I'm stalking your guys' Instagram pages. Wait, Keith. Keith's not there yet. Oh, nope. Okay. And then I go in through Keith's. Oh, yeah. No, I don't. Oh, there they are. You know what I mean? So I thought it was just a couple of years.
Yeah.
It's crazy how you can track the life of somebody through their Instagram feed.
Yeah.
I've seen some people like my daughter's age that are like got one when they were like 3. You know what I mean? You can see they're not really 3, but you know what I mean? But you can see their whole life. So yeah, how did this happen?
You want to start?
Yeah. So interestingly enough, all the pandemic shenanigans kind of come about. And then I kind of got spooked because I thought that I guess the marketing was suggesting that we weren't going to be able to participate in entertainment or that it wasn't deemed essential. So at that point, to kind of combat my fear, I took it upon myself that I was going to make a project that I won't say necessarily socially conscious, but that was just alternative to what I was seeing on the internet and on TV. Thus, you get songs like Grocery Store, and I had one song called Two Step Dip, which was about having a party in the living room because you couldn't go out and go to the club and stuff like that. And then the whole project was called Stimulus Package, which
nice,
ironically. So it was yes, there's the government stimulus, all this other stuff, but there's also a soulful, a stimulus for your mind and your soul that you could listen to. And so prior to the Ahmaud Arbery thing, the George Floyd thing, all this stuff like that, I just felt inclined to write this song based upon a sample that I found from an artist on Twitter. Her name is Carrie Cleveland, and I actually reached out to her and her
son,
who was managing her, and asked could I rework their work, and they ended up going through their whole situation, getting it cleared. But I just kind of wrote from the disposition of the black person, the black male, to America. And then just was kind of just going forward or what have you. And then after I finished the song, she just casually was like, "You should let me direct your music video today."
Nice.
And so we kind of started going back and forth and talking about it. And
he's I was really thinking about this other director, honey. I mean, I'll think about it. Yeah, I mean, you're cute. I mean, no, you got skills. He knew you had skills. That was like a match made in heaven, right?
Right,
Yeah,
for sure.
and more so on just her vision and her execution, like administratively, because before we even got in there, like she was typing itineraries and putting together her team, and there were
Oh
calendar
yeah,
invites. So
you got to know
just
how to do shit
yeah,
like that. Like I don't,
Hmm.
but I always make sure that I have people around me that do, because they're
It's a
smarter than
lot.
me. Like I say, I'm just the sexy talent, up front. I don't do much else. And Prentice, you were saying that was that was like that was cool. That was a good idea around the
Yeah, it's a clever name, clever play on words, and a clever play on the time frame that we're in.
Yeah.
with COVID and everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
Definitely very, very clever.
Hey Joy, hey Kizzy. Kizzy's our producer. Great to see you. You might have all dealt with Kizzy.
Yeah, we all got emails from her. I'm pretty sure we all did.
And so that's great to have you guys here. So Amanda, what's it like telling? I mean, I'm sure if your relationship is like mine, you tell him what to do all day long anyway. But I mean, what is it like to? She's just watching. I want her to think. She's in charge. But what's it like directing your husband in a music video?
Well, this was actually my first like official professional project that I took on and directed and produced. And so I am able to separate business from personal come time.
Oh, nice. So you could have fired his ass like, you're done. You wrote this song. You're starring in it, but I got somebody better. You had a director. Okay, sorry. Anyway, keep going.
Oh no, absolutely not. He for me, he trusted me with with his song to, bring forth a vision, and just throughout the entire process, he wasn't my husband, he was the artist for the day.
I like that.
And
the artist formerly known as, or
as
after
Keith
5,
Phelps.
known as Keith Phelps, my husband.
Exactly. So that entire day, I'm like, let's make sure my artist has eaten, is my artist in wardrobe, has my artist had makeup done. So
I like that. I like that. That's really cool. Keith, it is kind of a big trust to, let somebody have to take over your vision. So I think it's probably pretty cool to have somebody that you're married to that you can trust to do that. I mean, I that's one of the reasons I really wanted to have you on here, was to, to show, because there's some throughout history and film history, there's some legendary couples that do stuff together. So I think it's really cool.
Yeah. Similar but different. Like I grew up playing with my father, and not so much like, like we would go in the basement and he would kind of teach me how to play, music, or like would just kind of like have me in the studio for like fun. Like his expectation of me was the same as all the other adults when I was in elementary school that was on his set. So we kind of have this thing where like that was the mentality that got instilled to me, that like the friends that I do have that we work together, and then once I got married, like once the job descriptions come in for however long that we're doing that, shooting that video, recording that song, thus and so, that that's the goal, and then whatever personal issues that we have to work out, if I need to do my homework when I get home, we'll deal with that later, but while we're here, you're a professional and you're expected to be one regardless of our familiar relationship. So once we decided to do that, it was one of those things where like I was completely supportive of her leadership in that role. And then because when there's quality, there's no urge to micromanage on my part, which I don't like micromanaging at all anyway. But when there is definitely quality, and you can definitely see someone knows what they're doing. Like I literally sat there and scrolled on my phone and drank my coffee while my hair was getting touched in my, and she was hollering at this person and doing this and doing this, and then the food came. Then the food was late today, and then we had to send somebody else. But I was just sitting there like,
Yeah.
so that's kind of where the basis of it is, because it's more so at this point, like I see the professional first, and then the relationship second in the moment.
Well, that's good. That's good because I constantly tell everybody I meet, and as I'm making all these new connections, I totally and fully 100% understand that we are friends, but if you got to slit my throat for business, I mean, I get it. It is what it is. Hopefully, as I pass out, you'll, as my friend, not let me bleed out. But I get it. What you got to do, you got to do what you got to do. So that's got to be fun to maneuver that through with a couple. I think that's pretty neat. PL, I think we're going to watch your film first here, and where did this? I don't want to give away the story. Okay. I like to keep everybody kind of, just, we're going to be on the edge of our seat here, but my goodness, where did this story come from? It's a very unique story.
Thank you. Well, it came from just being inundated with the 24-hour news cycle. It kind of came from that. My wife was just on news, like on every mobile device, on the iPad, on the laptop, on the TV. Every room I would go to, the news would be on. So I'm just inundated with all this information and just being completely frustrated because I want to watch the game, I want to watch a movie, and it's like as soon as I turn, it's like, okay, now so we're turning back to the news. So just being inundated with all that information, and then kind of getting on the train. And that's why I do most of my creative thinking, riding the train, and driving. So the whole idea came from, how can I get two people to have an honest conversation that's centered around where age, religion, race, and politics don't play, and they can have an honest conversation and come with an answer of empathy and love. So, without giving it all away, that's kind of where the concept came from. Just riding the train, just kind of riding the train and seeing all these different types of people on the train going to these several destinations, and really playing in my head like Rodney King. Why can't we all just get along? This is crazy. I don't understand this. So that's where the whole impetus of the entire concept came from.
Well, that is really cool. I think that will be interesting news to have, in your head when we're watching the film. And I think both filmmakers, three of you, with the trio of filmmakers here, there's definitely, a theme of beyond just being entertaining, but having a message. And I think that is just one of the marvelous effects of film and what can be done with film. And you see directors even putting subtle messages into films. He just passed away. The director, big name director.
John Singleton?
Was it
John Singleton?
Oh no! Did John Singleton die?
Yeah.
No, when?
Oh, it's been about
like 2
almost
years,
almost a year now.
Oh, I did hear that. Oh shit! But I hadn't thought about that. Oh, that sucks. Jesus.
Yeah, big
Richard
loss.
Donner, I think is his name, and he's of that Spielberg kind of Lucas era. Thank you, Joy. Yes, Richard Donner, and he would just put in the 70s, like a peace symbol or whatever, right? A Black Power sticker or something, right? But just put things in little pieces of film in so many different ways. You can put it in the story, you can put it in there visually, and I just love the idea of even some subversion. You think you're watching this, but what we're really trying to let you know is, wouldn't things be better if we did it this way or something? So yeah, this is going to be fun. This is was it about 8 or 9 minutes? I think, I can't remember.
It's 13 minutes.
Is it? Well, it's a quick 13 minutes because it's a good view. So we're gonna watch this film. I will leave your audio unmiked. So just remember that. But feel free to respond and even make a quick comment or something. We're all just here to have some fun and enjoy it. And we are just about to see it's I See You.
I See You. Yes, sir.
I See You, written and directed by P.L. Sweets. Here we go.
Okay, that's it. What the fuck are you?
Good morning, Mr. McBride.
How long is this gonna take? And when do I get paid?
About an hour. But as soon as you complete the evaluation, we will mail the check.
When the cows come home.
Are you gentlemen comfortable? First, Skybound Reality Incorporated would like to thank you both for your participation in this virtual psychological evaluation. We've loaded up the avatars you've selected. And Mr. McBride, I see you've chosen your own image.
Who else am I gonna be? Al Sharpton?
And that's perfectly fine, sir. As a reminder, please do not touch each other. And when I say begin, open your eyes and introduce yourselves. And begin.
Whoa. Well, this is different. I can feel the heat from that fire. You feel that?
Maybe. If I wanted to.
Well, my name's Billy.
Keith.
Where you from, Keith?
I was born in Brooklyn, but I live in Jersey now. You?
I come from a place where the tea's always sweet and the chicken's always fried. Small town called Bennettsville, South Carolina. You got any family?
I got a wife, yeah. And 2 baby twin girls.
Ooh, ain't you got trouble?
Tell me about it. What about you? Any family?
Nah. Lost my wife a few years back.
I'm sorry. Losing someone is tough, but moving on, that's the real pain.
Seems like you've traveled this road a bit.
More than you know. Losing my Nana Maggie, that really hit me.
Like a ton of bricks, huh? That was my wife's name, too, Margaret. Everybody called her Maggie.
In the Quran, it says to seek assistance through patience in prayer. Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 45.
In the what?
In the Quran.
Okay. In the Quran, it also says to blow people up. Like you and me. So what liberal dipshit taught you that in Brooklyn? Huh?
Actually, I took it upon myself to read it, and I fell in love with its message.
Okay, now hear me out, son. Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. And no one comes to the Father except through me.
What are you saying?
I guess if you just don't know, you just don't know.
And what makes you think that I don't? Oh, is it this hat? I saw you eyeballing that earlier.
You like that shit jungle music, huh? No, yeah, I knew it. You're one of them. How about it?
I bet every Sunday you praise the Lord in one breath and call them jigaboos the next. Pay your tithe and go home and jerk off to your Lord and Savior, Donald Trump.
You watch your damn tongue now, boy.
See, you know the first thing about your Bible.
Oh, yeah?
Whatever happened to God so loved the world, huh? See, people like you like to use religion as your excuse. But you can't put a Band-Aid on diarrhea. It's still shit.
The Word of God says there's a time and place for everybody in the world. Even the blacks, the gays, the goddamn Mexicans.
Wow.
That's why they're building the wall. They're throwing up a storm, son. They are polluting what America was.
What? White?
Yeah.
We're not from here.
The most violent acts in the history of this country were done by white people.
Sometimes that's what it calls for. The law of revolution states the strongest will survive.
First of all, it's the theory of evolution. Jesus. We are all immigrants. Do you not see that?
Oh, no. Just look at the news. MS-13, the drugs, the murderers, suicide bombers. We are not all the same, young man. No way.
You cannot be serious.
This is laughable. This is absolutely laughable.
The liberal media would have you confused as an Amish electrician.
Then I guess all these school shootings describe our whole culture.
No. Those people have serious mental illnesses.
Are people that burn crosses mentally ill too? Huh. What about your family?
What about them?
They share your views?
Who cares? I ain't seen my son in some 20-odd years. Ran off and married some black gal. Even heard I got a grandbaby somewhere.
Heard?
Shit, that little nigglet baby ain't mine. No way. He disrespected me.
He's still your son. Your blood
It runs through him. I wonder if your wife would have loved her black grandchild.
You leave my wife out of this, son. How dare you? How dare you?
My Nana Maggie would never go for that. Ever.
Yeah, well, my Maggie ain't your Maggie.
Yeah, well, you never know.
Fuck you!
Mr. McBride, I need you to calm down.
Don't tell me to calm down. Get your hands off me!
Please, sir, you will not get paid if you disengage. You won't get paid.
You watch your damn mouth now! Who the fuck do you think you are? I'll whip your little ass, boy!
Hey, it's BJ. You miss me? Leave a message.
Son, why didn't you pick up, honey? I'm in the hospital. Emergency surgery. I don't have a good feeling about this. If anything happens to me, please reconnect with your father. He's an old, lonely man.
Mr. McBride, are you okay?
Promise me. I gotta go, baby. I love you.
Mr. Walker?
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you upset. It was just a question.
What kind of damn question was it? You just watch your damn mouth now. You've been warned. Okay? Okay.
You know, you kind of remind me of this guy I once knew. He was my neighbor. And one day, this guy comes home with this beautiful, golden Labrador.
Those are loyal dogs. Even had one myself. Maggie named him Max.
This guy used to leave the dog chained up outside. No shelter.
You do some shit like that.
Hardly ever fed him. Then when he did, he liked to mess with this dog, leaving its food just outside our reach.
Sounds like a real bastard.
Yeah. He was a real bastard, all right. He'd whip that dog just for barking.
What?
Wouldn't come home for days on end. Hell, sometimes he wouldn't come home at all.
Motherfucker would abandon
His
dog.
family? Oh, like you did?
What? Wait.
Getting upset over a dog and not your own flesh and blood. I see you.
Okay, that's it. Who the fuck are you?
I'm your grandson. The nigger you love to hate.
PJ.
Dad. This is Keith Walker McBride. Your beautiful, intelligent grandson. He owns his company. He set this all up.
My Nana Maggie made me promise.
Oh, yeah, Nana Maggie is not my Nana Maggie. No.
She is. And I loved her so very much. I wanted to meet you, even if it meant I'd never see you again. I had to take that chance. It was my grandmother's dying wish.
Dad, family is family. We obviously have our differences, but I never stopped loving you. We want you to be part of our lives, but you...
Oh, Maggie. My sweet, sweet Maggie.
Times is crazy. But the only way they get better is if we work together. Yeah.
The fire may consume me, but I won't burn. The road may get too tough, but I won't turn. I don't see ashes, I see beauty becoming me. I don't see ashes, I see beauty becoming me.
Tax breaks for the wealthy. whose head gonna help me? It costs too much to be healthy, so what dream is America selling me? So many problems, there's no solutions. They downplay our contributions. No more marching, it's time for revolution. We need to rip up the Constitution, cause I'm only considered 3/5. Only truth can end these myths.
Well, that is a seriously intense piece of filmmaking there.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
I told you it wouldn't feel like 13 minutes. It just pulls you right in. Just, yeah, what Amanda and Keith, oh, I got to tell you guys, one of the most fun about doing this is you can see, the audience can't, but, you know, we can all see each other on the screen, and then we can see the individual camera shots as well. So what I love doing, and then I'm going to give it away. The films will be all stone-faced now. But I love watching the filmmaker watch their film. It's so cool. You know what I mean? Like I wish I could, like, it would be too intrusive to like put you in a pit box while we're watching your film. But it's really fun to see people watch their work. Prentice, I tease Darion all the time, my co-host, because we show his films, you know, once in a while, and I just like, he makes horror films. He makes good horror films, and he still is like scared. I'm like, dude, you were holding the camera. How can you be scared of that scene? But you know, he loves movies, and it's just fun to see people loving their work. And I was pretty intense there, I think.
Thank you. I just want to find a creative way to get two people in the room that wouldn't normally have a conversation. And the only way I saw to do it was to put them in a virtual reality and have them speak to someone he's comfortable with, to have an honest conversation with. So I initially I ran the idea by Roger, and I said, what do you think? I had half wrote it, and he said, you should definitely do that. And so we just kind of hammered the script out and went back and forth, and brought in a producer, my brother Sekou Gathers, to help me produce it. And I think the toughest part was really doing the casting, because I just wasn't sure if I was going to get the right, you know, Trump
Actors.
dude. Yeah, I wasn't sure if I was going to get him, and I figured I would get a lot of the other characters. But ironically, I had so many people audition for that role. I was flabbergasted. I had like 15 or 20 guys. Really, it was a really close call. I feel we made the right selection, and especially with the guy playing the Muslim kid playing, and the white gentleman playing at the campfire. I wanted to make sure their mannerisms were similar. So when I cut back and forth, it was almost like you were seeing the same person in a sense. So and their mannerism, and so I had them kind of work out together just to kind of make sure their cadences were similar, because I wanted it to be seamless. So I'm glad you caught that, and so I was really happy with the turnout.
Your film reminds me, first of all, the concept was amazing. The fact that you said you could get, you know, two people in the same room that way, and they not, you know, in a conversation they would normally have. There is a series on Amazon Prime, I'm not sure if you've seen, called Upload, where they have the same kind of a virtual reality thing. That's what I kept seeing the whole time as I was watching. I wasn't sure if any of that influenced your...
No. I never seen that at all. I never.
Okay.
Never seen that.
No, it's very similar. Only their approach to it is more aimed at the afterlife. So instead of like actually physically dying or decomposing, you can choose to upload, and then people can visit you virtually.
Yeah, it's the same kind of a concept. Yeah.
Okay,
So
okay.
with that being said, what did kind of influence your decision for like the way that you decided to do that?
It really came from this being on the train, actually. Just, you know, especially if you ride the trains in New York City, it's a true melting pot in the sense that you're next to a heavy guy, a tall person, Asian woman, black guy, white guy, straight guy, lesbian, gay. We're all on the same train, and it was just, how can this person probably wouldn't even talk to this person? This probably wouldn't even talk to this person. How can I get them to have a conversation? And that's really that was really the impetus of the whole idea, was it's kind of being inundated with the news cycle, as I mentioned earlier. And it's really saying, this is ridiculous. And how can I shed some light on this and show the humanity of all of us? And that's really the kind of the idea where the idea came from.
Yeah, I think the strength of the concept is the perceived impunity. Like when you put the headphones on and you put the goggles on, it's like there's nothing I can say or think or be in this moment that's wrong. So at that point, then you end up getting the raw, unadulterated truth.
You get to see people for who they really are,
even though they're not who they really are.
Yeah,
What's on the inside of you is truly who you are.
Even the fact that like the elderly guy, the fact that in both scenarios he was essentially himself, but like at the campfire scene he has on the MAGA hat,
right,
and then seeing someone else who also has on a MAGA hat, you would perceive them to have the same ideas and morals that you have, and then they start opening their mouth and it's like, hold on, like we supposed to be on the same team. So that was a really dope concept.
And I thought it was at the beginning when I first wrote it, I was like, maybe he should be different from himself, but I just wanted the arrogance of his whole being is really select himself as the image. So I wanted that to be apparent that it was his decision to be himself, and then have the virtual reality just really expose his heart visually.
No, that translated.
Yeah. You know what's interesting? Because I know like that particular scenario is like probably the most obvious, like those two warring mentalities. But it would be sometimes like from a like culturally introspective angle, it would be interesting to even see two black people have a dialogue.
I had that. Initially, it was going to be 4 people. Initially, it was going to be 4 people, but budget, timing.
Of course.
Okay,
I
get that.
So I had to make a decision, because even writing the strip was getting confusing. Like, who am I talking to? Why am I saying this? And who's that person? This in my head, and I'm running it past Roger, and he's like, "Yeah, it's getting kind of. I don't understand." I said, "If you don't understand it, then okay, let me just go back to the drawing board and just." I write on the train. I write in the park. I'll take my iPad to Dunkin' Donuts for a few hours. Like, it's hard for me to write at home. I have to be out with people, and so I can I can kind of ear jockey people, because I listen to people. I throw my earbuds on and just kind of listen to people's conversations, and just kind of pull personalities out of people or phrases, and so that's where a lot of the script came from.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. What kind of camera did you use and what frame rate?
So I shot it with the Eva 1 Panasonic, and we shot it with some vintage Leica lenses. The DP did a great job. His name is Derek Brown. He brought these amazingly vintage 80s Leica lenses. And we shot it at 4K.
Okay.
The drone was 4K as well, and so we did. It was a 3-day shoot. It was one in the interrogation space, and then one at the campfire, and then for the interludes with the mask, the internal parts of the mask, we shot that on another day as well. So it was like 3 days.
Okay.
I'm not necessarily sure of like your overall vision or intent, but if that's a proof of concept, that could definitely be a crazy series or a crazy feature. Like,
I've been trying to put that together, so I'm working on that now. Yeah.
Excellent work, though.
Yeah.
Thank you. Really appreciate that.
No problem.
Yeah,
Oh
that
yeah,
is a
someone in the comments, they make hip hop great again. That was an obvious thing. So I wanted people to appear to think that the MAGA hat was the same until you read it, and it says "Make hip hop great
Yeah,
again."
I caught
And
Oh,
that.
I didn't
And
see the
I was
other
like,
one.
let's
Okay.
go.
I didn't see it. I thought it said the
Nah,
same.
it said make hip hop
Oh,
great. Well, that's
okay,
why he
yeah,
said
yeah. But
you
that's why he
like
did
that
it.
jungle shit. That's why he said
yeah,
that.
What
He was
jungle
talking about the
shit?
music.
he's talking
He was
about the
like, you like
music.
that jungle music
Oh, yeah,
shit.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
because he
yeah.
saw him put on the hip hop cat.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Yeah, no, that was excellent content.
Thank you.
No
Thank
problem.
Thank you. Appreciate all your comments.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's really nice to get that feedback about your film too. You know, I mean, I've seen it so many times on here where it's fun to have people watching it while you're there and be able to get that feedback back. It's got to be fun for a filmmaker to sit in the audience and watch the film. Would be a fun experience too. But it's kind of a fun way to do it. It's one of my favorite parts about the show. Like I said, other than watching the filmmakers watch the film because that's just fun. So yes, so it sounds like you've got aspirations of course, of trying to expand that into like a feature or, like you said, Amanda, some type of multi-part, you know, show or program. I mean, that's one of the funny things too now is the separation between film and television was huge when I was, in my 20s. And now, I mean, some stories can just be told, so well over 16 episodes over 2 years, as opposed to crammed into 2 hours. So it has really expanded, storytelling hugely.
Yes,
because I could see that, in several different ways with what you did there. And the other thing that I love here too, if Roger's still here, is this idea of surrounding yourself with, the kind of people that you want to be, or you know what I mean? Like, I just love it when this happens in clusters in so many different ways in life. But, both you and Roger are pretty much nascent, new filmmakers in that, at this level. And you both do these great first, freshman efforts. Hey, Roger, good. Glad you're here. Freshman efforts in these films. And you've had other experiences and stuff too, and that make up a big part of it. But that you guys know each other and you help each other. I mean, that's the great thing again about this business and all this relationships and connections.
Yes,
and
true.
really being able to have other people to just turn to and say, dude, does this suck? And it's got to be somebody that you trust well enough to be like, yeah, it does. We need to change some things or whatever. It's nice to have somebody at your back that also knows what you're doing. So I think that's really cool. And I appreciate you, Roger, for bringing PL to us tonight. That was a great movie.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate that.
And
by the way, his song, the last song was him. Was the last song that was Roger?
Oh, that's what I was gonna say.
All right, Roger.
Yeah. Exactly. Hey, John Ardmore. Because that's the thing about Roger's film too. Roger, I got to tell you, I took my phone, because my executive producer here, she doesn't always do what I say. So but I suggested that she see your film. I'm just being funny. But I took my phone and I just started playing that opening music from your movie with the shot and the shots and everything. And that, I mean, it was like I was going to see a full blown freaking feature where they paid for some, serious freaking music and expensive shots and stuff. So music is very powerful in filmmaking. Obviously, I think, as we're going to see here in a couple of minutes. Like you just got to go flip on the up, right, man? Just keep this thing going, because this is a really great film. Have you been in the festival circuit yet with this film?
Yeah, so we've been in 3 festivals. 3 festivals so far. I think the National Black, the Newark Film Festival, and the Best Eye Film Festival we were accepted in. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to. I have a couple more things I want to do, get into some other festivals, but I'm excited. You know, for me having doing my first film, and being surrounded by a bunch of capable people, and I have a love for film at the same time, but be able to be candidly honest with you is probably the most important thing to have centered around you. This way, iron sharpens iron. You want to make sure you're putting your best foot forward, and especially if you're coming out of your pocket, it's an investment in your future, an investment in your vision, and being able to be true to that is probably the most important thing.
Those are some good words, man. I want to just encourage you too, and Roger as well, and anybody else that's been on this program before. Stay in touch with each other, and I'm happy to introduce you to anybody else I know as you see these things coming along. Again, I think I have like one of the best jobs in the world because I get to talk to great people and connect people together. And again, that just keep me up to date with everything you guys are doing. If you're doing something new, we'll get you back on. If you've got something last minute and you're like, dude, could you just, I have a lot of Twitter followers, but I don't have time to pay attention to Twitter right now. But I mean, if even just, you need just to do a retweet or whatever you do on Instagram or whatever, just hit me up because, it's just about networks and making connections. And I certainly hope anytime somebody comes on this program that they've, made some new connections that'll help advance what they're doing so the world can find out about it. So I'm looking forward to getting to see what's coming next. And now I got maybe another feature film set I need to, like make you say yes now under pressure. Cause like, you couldn't say no to me. Like, can I get on your set, for your feature film? Like you wouldn't do that on
I would
this,
not do
right?
that. I would
Exactly.
Not do that.
So I actually get yelled at from that. Not really yelled, but chastised a little. Like, you can't do that. You can't ask somebody, in public like that because they're gonna say yes. So. But I'm. By the way, I'm going to be on the set of a lot of feature films in the next couple of years.
At the rate you're going, yeah.
Yeah, it's working well. Well, that's fantastic. Amanda and Keith, we are going to get to your film just after this next film here in the middle with Debbie. So this is because we're going to build the intensity here. You know what I mean? So it's going to be a lot of fun. But trying to make you a little nervous or whatever. No, we're all here. It's all about love. But I want to be able to finish with your film and talk about it. But I really want to be able to show Debbie's film here because it's the first chance I've had that we had a replacement, film at the last minute. So Debbie Richardson is she's a filmmaker. She's in Vegas. She's just a phenomenal person, and she connected me with a young artist. Her name is Lex, and we're gonna have Lex on here pretty soon. She shot a music video. I think this is how I stumbled upon Debbie, was this music video she made. I think the album is called Life of Lex, LS. She's amazing. Great musician. And so, yeah, this is, Debbie has a really cool, like 80s style. I love her films. So this one should be fun. We'll see you in a few minutes.
power remaining.
生命维持警告，剩余10%动力。
Life support warning. 10% power remaining.
生命维持警告，剩余10%动力。
Life insufficient power to initiate wake sequence.
动力不足，无法启动唤醒程序。
Insufficient power to initiate wake sequence.
动力不足，无法启动唤醒程序。
Insufficient power to initiate wake sequence.
动力不足，无法启动唤醒程序。
Insufficient power to initiate warning. 1% power remaining.
紧急，生命维持警告，剩余
Emergency. Life support failed. 1% power remaining.
紧急，已脱离2%。
Now I remember when we were married, you wanted to be joined together in matrimony.
And as I recall, it was till death do us part.
Yeah, that's right.
Wake sequence initiated.
唤醒程序启动，
Wake sequence initiated.
唤醒程序启动，
Wake sequence initiated.
唤醒程序启动。
I need your loving like the sunshine. 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 And everybody's gotta learn sometime. Everybody's gotta learn sometime.
Wow.
That was crazy.
Yeah, the cinematography,
Wow.
cinematography on that
was-
was insane.
Wow. I have a million questions.
Production values through the roof.
That was crazy. And the score, I love the score. It was like perfectly appropriate.
Wow, I wasn't even talking. Thank you, Joy. I did that. What I said was, wow, Debbie knows how to make a movie, but you guys were just saying the same thing. Man, holy cow. That is that was just a blast. You know what we'll have to do, Prentice? We'll have to get Debbie back on here at some point, and we should have some past filmmakers and stuff just come in and show some of her films and ask some questions and stuff. She won 4 Emmy Awards for that movie.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
you know, it's been
Well
well recognized
Mhm.
as a good piece of filmmaking, and I'm just honored that she
No dialogue.
At
let
all,
me use
yeah.
that. Zero, right? Other than you hear
The computer voices
and stuff, in the background, and the little bit of radio stuff and everything. But you're right, no dialogue at all. And man, this would be like the 3rd week in a row we've had the in the 20s when sound was coming into filmmaking. There were a lot of people in film that were like, this is it. This is the end. The movie era is over. Nobody's going to want to watch a movie with sound and talking. It'll just be a disaster. And it was a disaster for certain actors and stuff because they didn't have very good voices for film. I think Charlie Chaplin being one of them for talkies. But for a minute, it was Rev Mute Live. Yes, that does happen once in a while. But yeah, that's just amazing. And you could feel that kind of that.
And the thing, the story carried, you were just so immersed into like not just the visual aspects of it, but the why and when of the whole story. Why and when is, and then when it says 77 years later, it was like, okay, wow, that's a
right,
a long time.
Right. Yeah, well, and is that a robot girl or is that a human girl? And it's 10,000 years in the future. And
frozen in
is
time.
that guy a robot or all robot or whatever? And did he hang there for 77 years just to look at her face because he knew he could, and then he give her that last bit of energy and that would activate her because time didn't mean anything to him or to anybody out in space like that, I guess, if you're a robot and she's in the deep freeze. So yeah.
Did she wake up because she liked that last song? Like
I like that.
It reminded me quite a bit of the opening scene in Endgame when Tony Stark is stuck on the I forget. Well, he was stuck on that ship, and he's got the other girl who's like completely bionic.
I know he's talking about,
yeah. He doesn't know if he's ever going to make it back. He's emaciated, like he's doing. So it's just that similar thing where like
his chest opening and stuff.
Yeah, he was gonna use that to power the rest of it to get him home or whatever, something like that. But very similar, where like at that point, I mean, he was definitely like doing captain's log, but the dialogue doesn't. The disposition starts to tell the story far more than words.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
The colors are just
so vibrant.
Yeah, very inviting.
Yeah, if you see her other short that I've named is getting away from me that we actually used when she was on the program, she has that consistency of her look for those kind of films. I mean, she makes other kind of films too, but it is this like space Odyssey 80s future thing, and it's just I really like the look, even in the logos, the graphics. Like, here's something that people don't think about too yet, because it's still so new in the minds of people at kind of the level of filmmaking that we're seeing here. And of course, Debbie's, imagine had quite a bit larger budget than you two did as filmmakers for that film.
Yeah.
But this idea of like a colorist, right? For the film,
so
because
important.
and you used to you shot a film on a stock that was going to give you a warm character, or you shot a film on a film stock that was going to give you kind of a blue, cyan kind of character to it, and you could play around a little bit with the development and do some stuff, but now you shoot everything basically raw, make sure it's lighted perfectly, and if it is, you can create any tone, texture, anything you want to that film. So that too, just the consistency of her colorist in what they're doing across these films too is really cool. So that's like the hottest job I think probably in film right now, is if you're a good colorist. I mean, you could pretty much charge whatever you want to charge.
Yeah, it reminds me, Tim Burton films usually have a very unique color profile. And when you see them, you're like, oh, snap, like the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, even the Nightmares Before Christmas, like they all have this like eerie color profile that continues to like move his direction. You know what I mean? Like
it's like a signature. Yeah. Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. You find that too in music in certain artists. There's always the undertone of the artist. You just can't get away from it. It's there. So that's really cool. Well, so I'm actually stoked if I can get to Vegas. I
Yes,
may
Edward
agree to
Scissorhands.
being on her set for her
Oh
feature that
yeah.
she's shooting now. So looking forward to that.
Danny Elfman on the score.
There you go. All right. Well, so this is our actually first music video on here. And I definitely want to do like a music video, special show sometime or whatever. I think that'll be a lot of fun. But as I said early in the broadcast here, that I just could not resist. We were joking around behind the scenes here earlier, and I just couldn't resist saying, if we just had these beautifully cute people here that are really good filmmakers on the screen the whole time, we'd probably have like 10 million viewers by now. So but I was so I really appreciate you guys for putting all the effort you guys did to be here tonight. If all of my and you're good, PL. You were all set up and everything. It's good. You were perfect. I'm not chastising you at all. You're good. But these guys, oh my gosh, they were like on 100, making sure everything was perfect and all set up. And I suggested we do the 2-shot like this. So this is like the first time I've had anybody do a 2-shot, and like they came with fucking gear, like like my gear. Because I was thinking like one of the best looking couples ever on Haps. I think they could be the best looking couple ever on Haps.
Well, thank
Joy.
you.
But like, because I got to thinking, I'm like, shit, like what did I just ask them to do? Because maybe it would just be better if they just sat in different rooms, but just even having the dynamic of you two in the room together. This is something huge, like for me too, because I've got some Chicago people that I'm going to interview, and I'm really thinking about doing it in, taking my gear, which is not going to be fun, into the sunroom and doing them one-on-one in person. You know what I mean? Because it just gives you that nice little vibe. So this is really fun to have the two of you here with us tonight, and we're going to watch your music video. And we did talk a little bit about, your relationship to each other and all of that at the beginning here. But if you just happen to jump in on the replay, we have husband and wife team. Are you what would you call yourself, Keith? Like are you a singer, a musician, you know what I mean? Like, how do you classify yourself musically?
So I would say like primarily artist producer, and then within that everything kind of falls.
Okay, I like it. Very good. So we got the artist producer kind of on the music side, and then his he didn't have a choice for his first choice for his director. No, just kidding. And his wife directing her kind of first music video. And again, I just had so much fun watching what you guys have done, and I'm just so excited that we got to have you on here. And I got to have you on like every week now, because you got the setup back there. You know what I mean? You could be the guest that would be consistently sounding good. Because trust me, we had sound problems last week, and it happens. But yes, I appreciate both of you as guests. You got here nice and early, and we got the sound and everything going. So we are going to watch Love Me, and we'll be back in just a few minutes.
All right.
You said that I could be anything, accomplish all my dreams like you was on my team. Can't understand why you always be taxing me, make it so hard.
Did I just not see anything there?
Yeah, I didn't see anything either.
Okay, that's weird. Hang on just a second. I might just have to re-download it real quick or something. Let me just see. I watched it here, didn't I? Yeah. Let's see.
I figured that was going to happen. Always happens.
Oh, well, something always happens.
Great 13 seconds.
Yeah, something always happens on this. It's live. This will be more memorable this way. Yeah, let me re-upload it real quick. Also, is this on? Is it on YouTube anywhere?
As of now, no. So it actually got accepted into the Hip Hop Film Festival in New York City, and distributors look at the work that comes through there, and they will not even consider your work if it's on YouTube. So,
Oh, I gotcha.
yeah.
Do
So
you
it's not
have
there.
because now I remember. Do you have a smaller file version than the one you sent me?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna have you send me that because I think that might be the problem.
Okay.
Yeah, the transfer rate
Oh
probably
yeah.
just.
Okay. Yeah, the festival asked for the size that we gave you.
Yeah. No, sorry, just 1080. You know, 720, 1080 is fine. That's my bad. I should have thought that when it was uploading, but like I said, this makes it more memorable this way. We have a little added, weight and tension, while we're waiting for I could, if Keith didn't have to do that, he could maybe do some music for us, put a little excitement in there, but get that to me in the email and we'll get this thing going.
Great.
Much smaller file
coming right now.
Woohoo.
You send it through mine, don't you?
No.
Oh, okay.
Actually, no. Oh, wait.
Rev, I have a question for you.
You sure you don't? No. Okay.
Did you send it to my RevMac Live account?
Yeah.
My phone's over there. Just go
Can
to
you
my
private
email.
your email in there?
Yeah. Hang on, no worries. Hang on.
Okay.
It doesn't even matter. It's revolution at revmaclive.com.
Okay.
RevMac Live. There we go.
See, folks, this is how the sausage is made. I love when you get to see the behind the scenes. Well, we always show you the behind the scenes stuff on this show because, we need
this
a bigger
is within
crew.
the scenes.
Yeah, exactly.
Here for the drama. Okay.
Thank you, Miss Kitty.
There we go. Here we go. Get this thing downloaded.
And thank you, Joy. She said congrats. Thanks, Joy.
Download. This is like a Google versus Microsoft versus MacBook debate now here on the download. Like, who's going to get to be in charge of it? All right, hang on a second. That's hilarious. Let's download it this way.
So where did you guys shoot this at?
We shot this in Orlando, Florida at the Wells Built Museum. It used to be a Black-owned hotel and it's now a museum. So, back in the day, if you visited Florida and you were Black and you didn't have family or friends in the area, that was the hotel that you stayed in. Ray Charles used to stay in that hotel. There was a music school he used to go to when he would go to Florida, and they would stay in that hotel. And Keith actually had a band when we were in Orlando, and they performed at the museum once. And he formed a relationship with the curator of the museum. And when it was time for us to get ready to shoot, we had the vision for the film, and he was like, "Oh man, wouldn't it be great if we could film it at the museum?" And we were able to contact her, and she ended up shutting the museum down for us for the day, and we were able to get the shot done. And we actually were only able to film one day in the museum, but we took Keith through was it like six or seven different
They should
looks?
just let them watch it.
Okay.
You should not tell them.
Well, you know, you just keep talking a bit because
Green Book, huh?
Exactly. If you actually look in the Green Book, you will see that.
Yeah.
And not just for Orlando or Central Florida, the entire state of Florida.
Uh-huh.
That's the only hotel you can stay in.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm
That's amazing.
popping open another browser because this is just too much of a. Apparently, the three major computer powers just like won't let us download this thing. So hang on.
Oh no.
No,
So what did you guys shoot with?
We shot with a Sony A7 III, 4K, 24 frame rate. And we only used one camera for the entire day. Yeah. Our DOP for the day was he was really about it that day. His name's Ben Altador of Altador Inc. He really came through for us that day. We had a really great team. I was super proud because we took a historical stance on the video in a Black History Museum, and our whole crew was Black. So that was a really, that within itself. And then we were initially planning to shoot it on June 19th last year. There was an event happening at the museum, so they moved it to June 20th. So we ended up shooting the day after Juneteenth. But
so how'd you guys deal with the pandemic while shooting?
Oh man,
that was kind of non-existent.
So I'll say this much. Kind of going back to like the initial stance that I took, where it was like finding like-minded individuals that realize that regardless of the severity of the moment, that it was just a moment, and if that we kind of like laid down within that particular period of time and waited for everything to blow over before we started creating, before we started getting back out and doing things like that, we would kind of be not taking advantage of what was, obviously a blessing in disguise. Like I made majority of my living as a professional musician and producer in the Central Florida area. So, and a lot of that included theme parks and, all the attractions that we have in the resorts and things in different cities. So you get to that point where absolutely no money is being made. Like there's nowhere for us to go. There's there's not even like, oh, we're going to work from home as musicians. Like, everybody was going to Instagram Live and hoping that someone would tip on the Cash App or the Venmo, but we weren't making sustainable livings. Mm-hmm. So once you get to that point, you start asking yourself, this is a time obviously to get some rest, but beyond getting some rest, what can I do now to plant as a seed that will, once all this stuff blows over, I can start to reap the benefits of it. Mm-hmm. And then once you get more like-minded individuals that also see that time that way, within reason and while still being safe, because there were people definitely masked up and all that kind of stuff at the shoot. Everyone was more than a willing participant because they saw the value of just coming together and being a part of something during a moment where everyone else was kind of just like sitting back, eating as much of the snacks they could and binge watching all the stuff.
Yeah, we were working because
I
was a performer in the Central Florida area, and so when the parks, like he said, they got shut down, neither one of us were able to to do anything to make the money. So I remember specifically Keith saying, I want to create something during this time that will change my life. I don't want to continue to, when we come back from this, I don't want to be in the same position. And I remember when he even wrote the song, he got, when you're creative, you get that burst of inspiration, you got to feed it right then. You can't leave it. Right. And, I'm not hating on it, but his burst of inspiration would come at like 2 or 3 in the morning.
That's when it happened.
And, he has he had his studio set up in what was our sunroom at the time in our apartment. And, I could hear him in the other room, I'm trying to sleep, but I can hear him, going bar for bar on this record. But even how that whole thing came together, he didn't get into too much detail with Carrie Cleveland. She was actually like a singer in like the 50s or the 60s.
She's a 70s singer, and oddly enough, The way the whole song, the video, everything happened really was crazy.
Yeah. The blackness on the whole thing runs very deep.
So she was a singer in the Oakland area, and her husband produced this whole record in their garage, which, if you're thinking about it, in the 70s, that's not something that people were able to do. You know what I mean? Like today, we could grab another laptop right here and cut a record. You know what I mean? But back, you know what I mean? But back then, it was like cutting a record was like manufacturing a car. Like if you either had the tools and the resources to do it, or you
didn't have it.
So they end up cutting the record. His mom's record ends up being this rare collectible, unbeknownst to the son. And he had a copy of it, and I guess he went on eBay to see the valuation for a vinyl, and it was like $400 or $500.
Wow!
Just for that single record.
Just for that single record. So he ended up going to a consignment shop, and he brought the record, and like the record store owner was just like, "Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!" And then he was like, "I got another one in the car." And then he was like, "How do you have two of these?" And then he brought his mom out the car, and they were all freaking out. So the record store community, this is nuts. The record store community starts like bubbling, saying like, "Look, we found this Oakland legend, Carrie Cleveland." Then there's a label out of the United Kingdom that ends up, they do reissues of very rare records. So they sign her for a one record deal. Grab masters in the public and all that stuff like that.
That's
and then
crazy.
It,
Yeah, he was able to clear the sample by himself.
So oddly enough, when I reached out to them, because I read the headline saying that they recorded it in their garage. If the person records their own record, they're a lot easier to deal with than like a huge conglomerate that owns. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, but then her son who manages her was like, we have consent, but we don't have the ownership. The ownership is in the United Kingdom. So I had a 3-way email thread between the guy who runs the label in the United Kingdom and the artist, and I was on the phone with them all the time. And she, just sweet little lady, would call and say, "I can send you some cookies if you want. I'm baking some cookies."
Yeah, she was like, about the record at all.
She was just like, "You're such a nice young man. It's nice talking to you.
How's your wife?"
Yeah, stuff like that. And so, after some back and forth, there was a brief period where I wasn't hearing from them because I guess they were going back and forth with their legal team.
Because you almost didn't put the song on the project.
So my manager was like, "It's taking too long. The pandemic, like the whole where everyone's sitting at home and they'll have a more of an attention span for what it is you're doing is starting to leave. We're just going to take it off the record and keep it moving." Right before I'm about to take it off, they send the paperwork back, like clearing me for like I can use that in music videos and films, whatever I want, like full clearance.
And you didn't get the clearance, I think, until after we filmed the video.
No, it was before.
It was before. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah, it all ended up working out, and I ended up flipping a really prolific local activist singer from Oakland for a similar purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Wow! And you found this record on YouTube? You said
Twitter.
On Twitter.
Yeah, I was just scrolling through. I can't remember how, but I saw the headline. Someone had retweeted it and was like, "Makes record," because my dealings with samples or just understanding how expensive sampling is in hip hop is just ridiculous. So I'm like, I try to find very cost effective ways to sample. So when I realized that they did it in their garage and they did it 40 years ago, I'm like, there's the 70s sound in the garage. This is cost effective. I don't have, $5, $6, $7, $10,000 to clear, the Harold Melvin and the Blue Note sample. You know what I mean? And then the sample that she had, it fit the thing that I wanted to flip. Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. They are very costly.
You'd have to deal with a big publisher, MCA or Universal. That made it a lot easier. Being a producer, I definitely understand.
Or multiple producers.
Clearing samples is just
multiple
crazy.
Publishers where it'll be 8 publishers on the one record. You got to get a clearance from all of them, and some of them, their cumulative rate maybe more than 100, so you get no parts of the song.
And everything you guys are going to hear of the song, Keith actually recorded the entire thing in our living room. So
very cool.
And I'm like, I can be very much so a hip hop purist, like with the whole MPC ASR stuff. And
so what did you sample with?
The ASR 10.
ASR 10. Wow, I ain't heard that name in a long time. Nah, because the ASR has a very unique sound, and plus what you can do with samples in the ASR, and that's probably the only keyboard / sampler that you could actually, before time and time stamping your records and without them being pitchy, like without pitching time.
Yeah,
that was probably one of the only
machines. Of time.
Yeah, it was referee. I know Timbaland had used it a lot. I know Kanye used it a lot. So yeah, I mean that's a rare piece of equipment, and it was definitely ahead of its time. It definitely had a different sound than the MPC.
Yeah.
But it was real gritty. But what you could do with the samples was just amazing.
Actually,
fine now. How'd you come up? How'd you find an ASR?
Man, this story is crazy as well. So my father was walking the dog when I still lived with him, like right after high school. And I remember being 17 years old, and I was trying to sample other keyboards, and I just couldn't get the keyboards to do what everyone else's keyboards were doing. And then I saw his one video of Kanye West, and he was explaining how he could chop one sample across 61 keys without wasting the memory. And I was like, man, one day I'm going to get this keyboard. I just have to have it. I used to watch the video all the time, like a kid, going through the JCPenney catalog, with the toys and stuff in it. And so my dad was walking the dog, and this guy, I guess, recognized him from some time ago because they were in the same Midwest area. And so he's like, yeah, I got a studio in the house if you want to come in real quick. So he goes in there, and then my dad gave me a link to his YouTube channel, and he makes keyboard libraries and stuff like that on the internet. And then I saw he was kind of doing a vlog in his studio, and lo and behold, right behind him was the purple screen. I'm like, that's an ASR 10. So I asked him, I said, how much would you sell that to me? I asked him, would he sell it? He said he was willing to sell it because he used to use that to build his sample libraries, and now he does it all via the computer. I asked him how much would he sell it to me for. $400.
Oh man, I know that jumped out of your pocket.
Yeah. Oh man, listen, I was working at a music store. All my pennies went towards buying that.
Wow.
Well, we have gotta have to do, because samples, I just enjoyed listening to that because I've been mesmerized by this sample that, because I'm 55. I remember when sampling was controversial, and they took a sample and it was wah wah wah, and they used it as wah wah wah, and you recognized it, right? And of course it's evolved so much because there's this Bieber song that Skrillex, it's a Skrillex song, I don't know exactly who's who here, but they take these 10 seconds of some lyrics, and they just completely stretch it, shred it, pull it, punch it, blow it up, put it all back together, and it becomes the underlying theme of the song. And it's still in a recognizable enough form that if you know the lyrics from the other Bieber song that it came from, at least on the subconscious level, and it's like fuck, there's an Instagram, I was trying to look for it, I need to favorite it or something, where they have all of these run throughs of how samples are made. They go back through interesting samples and they break it all down for you in a minute.
I know that channel. I love that channel.
Isn't that cool? Yeah. Well, let's keep our fingers crossed here, everybody. Let's get this thing going.
Said that I could be anything, accomplish all my dreams like you was on my team. Can't taxing me. Make it so hard for me. Why ain't the law for me? After I pledge my allegiance to stars and stripes, you see me as nothing more than a stereotype. You see my people.
Oh man.
Smallest file size?
That is the smallest one.
That's the smallest one we have.
Thank you, Joy. I don't know what the video gods are doing to us here. Hang on a second. And that file was almost a gig, I think. And it shouldn't usually be a problem, but it's a pretty big file. Hang on a second. I know, Kizzy. We'll make it work. All right. Here. This is really how the sausage is made. I'm going to go crunch this down in DaVinci. It'll take a couple of minutes, and we'll be able to run it. It'll be a smaller file. So hang on. I fortunately have a free set of software that anybody can have for free that they use in Hollywood to make movies on, and it's like insane what DaVinci Resolve can do. It's crazy.
I have it. I use it for coloring back in, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, but I haven't used it for video editing at all yet. I use Final Cut.
Yeah, I learned to edit video and film. We cut film and we did video editing in a linear fashion, not a non-linear fashion. So I've used a lot of them and know them enough, but I've never used that stuff professionally. I was out of the business by the time that stuff was good. But DaVinci just blows my mind because I try to use Premiere all the time and I can't get it. Like I got to watch a video. I just can't get the interface and everything.
It is a lot.
Yeah. It's just a bit simpler here. And let me just grab this file. And I think that people should also show you guys some support. Type in your various websites and stuff there in the chat because people will watch this on the replay. And this is, here. So give people ways to get, in touch with you with your Instagram and all those kind of things because you never know who might want to get in touch with you. All right, here we go. Pull this over here. How big is this file going to be?
Please work.
Hang on. It doesn't need to be big. And if I try to make it to
the two painful comments. Damn. No.
Oh, I think it's going to let me. Okay, hang on. I'm just trying to get it like in 720 or something. It'll be fine. I'm sorry, all of you who are watching this on a 60-foot television, but otherwise, yeah. All right, it's rendering it. It's a big file, so it's going to take a couple of minutes to render it down, but it should knock it down small enough that we can pop it right up there. Okay. If I did everything right. And where are you now? See, Alexa read my mind. That's the Bieber song with that just haunting little sample that they did in there. But what I was saying is, actually, you guys kind of got me charged up about maybe we should get Roger. I'm inviting you, okay? And you don't have to answer. You can pretend you're not there. So these guys, I'm going to put them on the hook. But I think it might be cool, actually, to bring some people in and just have a discussion around sampling for people. Because I think there's a lot of people that probably don't know everything that goes into it. I think it'd just make a cool big interview show sometime.
Oh, man, listen. It's funny you said that. Over the quarantine, I started this thing called What I Chopped Wednesday, which was I would take I would request from people in the comments on Instagram, and they would all put different songs that they wanted sampled, and then I would go live on Wednesday and just make the beats with the samples in real time.
Oh, that's cool. That's very cool. Well, we should do. Roger says he's down, so we should do a Wednesday night, and all three of you
Yeah,
just come and
that'll be
talk about
nice.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sampling
because
is an
that's
art.
just the kind of shit that
Definitely
like
an art.
Yeah, that exactly, and like people don't know whatever the form of music is, right? I mean, I'm born in the '80s new wave, punk, disco, freaky '70s music era, right? So, but every new thing of music that comes around, there's always scoffed at or whatever, and just like again, like you said, it's just a freaking art. Like somebody made a comment at some point, and they were just like, "Wow, like how do you even get there?" And they were talking about that the way that and sampling is done. So yeah,
Especially
it's
in the errors. It's
definitely
definitely in the errors. Like records in the, and I collect vinyl, so records in the '70s and how they, when stereo became prevalent in the '70s and how they split the records and how you can pull drums from one side of your headphone and
The straight ahead
and
jazz
bass
records.
from so how you would take that and put that on one pad and take the drums and like we could go we could go super deep with sampling because
that's what we should do.
it's so many ways to do it and building your drum library from vinyl and
yes sir
resampling your things through a cassette and then bouncing that down to add the saturation and yeah.
So PL, do you ever attend the Hip Hop Film Festival in New York?
I haven't.
Okay. So we'll be there next month. Yeah, we're coming next month.
Okay.
Oh wow.
I'll show up. I'll be there.
Cool.
I'll be there.
I love that. That is cool. See, we've already made a connection. And okay, thank you for putting that in the promo clips file. But now I know where it is. Hang on a second. My computer, I love you. You're a great Mac. You're awesome. You're wonderful. Just sometimes we don't agree. All right. This should be it. Oh, it's still uploading a little over to here because but I can still pull it. That's just taking it to the cloud. And
it's the war of attrition.
All right, that should go much more quickly. Yeah, I think the just that aspect that'll be really fun. If Kizzy is look at that. Oh wow. All right. Well, coordinate it. There you go. We'll coordinate it. So yes, Kizzy will put everybody together. We'll do a Wednesday night. If you know anybody else, we have 8 slots, I think, that we can have up here at a time. So, if you got somebody else that you just think would be fun to chat with or whatever, just let me know. Because these dialogues can be, really fun with a big group of people. So I think that'd be really cool. And great that we can count you in and counting Amanda and Keith in there. And all right, come on, go faster, please. Come on.
Question: Will Darion see these films?
What's that?
Will he see these films?
Darion? Oh yeah, I'll make sure he does.
I'm very curious about his reaction because I've watched a couple of your different shows.
Oh,
like his insight was very compelling on everything I've seen so far. So I'm very curious about what he'd say.
Yeah, Darion is an amazing filmmaker and an absolutely amazing teacher. Just so good with explaining film and just so willing to have his 1-minute film school and everything that he has and everything that he's done on Clubhouse. I'm just thrilled to have him as my partner in this venture. And his film Pony, and then Mommy. If you're out there, anybody watching this, Darion, D'Anjou, and it's Mommy and Pony. Those are just brilliant pieces of filmmaking. And yeah, just remember at the end of Mommy, it's Darion holding the camera, and just keep that in your head when you're watching that movie. And we're getting close. Man, this is still like really behind the scenes now, because that is still a pretty big file if it's taken that long. But I'm just telling you, this is how it works. We're all excited about this great thing that we're doing, and then the universe says, "Ha! We're gonna slow down the upload."
I knew it was gonna happen. Crazy stuff always happens to me, so I was ready.
It's okay. Crazy stuff happens to me too. So we're probably, we blew it. We'll leave, you and I, and everything will be fine.
And everything
You're in charge,
will be fine.
Keith. Yeah. We're getting there. Come on. Ooh, dead air. Don't do that. No, I like having a little dead air once in a while, just kind of take a breath. Because I go at about 1,000 miles an hour most of the time, and when I'm doing the show, I go at like 10,000. So,
did you do radio?
No, I've done voiceover work and stuff like that years ago, and done stuff with my voice over the years, but not to any huge extent. All right, let's go one more time. Here we go.
You said that I could be anything, accomplish all my dreams like you was on my team. Can't understand why you always be taxing me, make it so hard for me. Why ain't the law for me? After I pledge my allegiance to scars and stripes, you see me as nothing more than a stereotype. You see my people in the most negative light. We just want a fair chance and a dog in the fight. After the rallies and activist efforts, perceivable progress that looks like it's better. Throughout history, it's been no mystery. It's been so plain to see that you'll never love me. No, you'll never love me. It's like 400 years was a mere misunderstanding. You don't like them dark, but you love to go tanning. Ask your plastic surgeon to make you a copy. Put braids in your hair, change the way you be talking. Wealthy plantation for us and our figures. So no matter how high, you're still just a naked. Newsflash for all of y'all, hope someone told you. Without us, you do not have 1 ounce of culture. Everyone wants to be, but they don't want to be the most hated and the most imitated. Throughout history, it's been no mystery. It's been so plain to see that you'll never love me. No, you'll never love me. Oh, you'll never love me. You'll never love me. Oh yeah. Well. Would you believe that they tried to tell me that they was concerned about my well-being mentally? They tried to jail cell me on the subtle tip without the yelling. Broadcasting on the TV screen. Be a Democrat and not the other thing. Interest rates, we can't wait to spin cake and handshake with the ones that wish to harm us. Like cattle used to farm us. Dangling the carrot in front of our face, that's the way that they disarm us from being all that we could ever be, that we could ever see, that we could ever dream. Got the light skins and the dark skins arguing who got the better genes. You can ball harder than LeBron, but you don't really need to own a team. Why you wanna own your masters when we paying you enough just to sing? The most high be calling y'all, that's the definition of letting freedom ring. Left a voicemail, told the same tale, just like you know they'll never
Very cool.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Very cool.
Just
Very
a
cool.
wonderful.
Well worth the wait. Well worth the wait.
Yes, indeed. Just wow. I think with grocery store, I could feel you, Keith. You know what I mean? In those two, those two things there, and this feels very like deep and big. You know what I mean? You've got a lot more than just you behind it. You know what I mean? It feels there's a great presence to this, especially because of the theme. It is so fucking heavy and serious, but you have such a fun kind of it's hard to it's a lighthearted approach, but it doesn't not feel serious. You know what I mean? It works. It's a beautiful flow. I mean, Prentice, I think you liked it too.
Yeah, it was great. It was really great. I
Thank
was
you.
wondering
Thank
how.
you.
Yeah, I was wondering like when you did the with your static shots when you were just changing outfits.
Mm-hmm.
Like what made you change the lighting on each one, or what the lighting representing like the character of each person?
So that actually was not intentional. We had to shoot, like I told you, we only
I like
had
those
one
moments.
day. And
Okay.
yeah, that was not intentional
It
at
worked out though.
all.
It worked out because I
It
was like,
did.
oh.
Yes. So what made me, how whenever you look at a film, you go back and look at it and you see all the pieces that you're like, I want to fix that. I want to fix that. And that was one of the things I couldn't fix. So because we filmed it all in the same day, we got there at about like 8 that morning, I think, maybe 7:30, 8 o'clock, and we had to be out of the museum by 3. So each take that we did,
In the
actually the first,
afternoon?
yes, so 8 in the morning,
Oh
3 in the
my
afternoon.
God.
So, and we
Sheesh.
filmed the rest of it outside. So we were completely done by 5 o'clock. So after each outfit we had him in, we had to have him stand in that awning area in the museum so that we could get the shot of him. And just the way that I wanted it to happen and the lighting was just not working with me. But as you said, it did work out because it looks as though the lighting was in favor of whatever time period he was in. So that worked out.
Yeah, that was interesting. I was like, okay. I said, wow. I said that took a lot of time in my head. That took a lot of time. I guess not.
No, we had natural lighting, so we actually didn't use any artificial lighting at all. We had no lights, all natural lighting, one camera, and we had to get Keith through all of those looks in a short amount of time. We actually, the first shot of the day, the first shot that you all see in the film is actually the last shot that we did of the day. Which worked out because he was exhausted. We had to be up early. He was, he was tired from me, bossing him around, stand like this, bend this way, point to this camera this way. So he was super, super tired. And I also styled him for the video. So every style you see him in, I was his wardrobe stylist for the day. So for the slave scene, I had him barefoot. And he was standing in an anthill, and it was about 100 degrees in Florida. So his feet were very hot. Ants were biting at them. So the anguish you see wasn't slavery. It was heat and ants. This
is a different kind of slavery. This is all it was.
Yeah, let's go with
This
it.
is a different kind.
Right on your face.
The anthill slavery is real. Like
yes.
Amanda, just remember, someday Keith might direct something you're in. And there'll be some payback. Build me a fucking
Listen, anything for the shot.
Hill.
Anything for the shot. I'll take it. I'll take that.
I like that attitude. Anything for the shot.
Anything
that is
for the
really
shot.
good.
Yep.
That is really good.
Wardrobe was great.
Thank you so much. And we actually, so the entire film, I didn't even go in with a budget. Like Keith said, we kind of had this mindset of, I kind of got on my Spike Lee where I'm like, I got to get it done. It doesn't matter what I have to do. I got to get it done. So I didn't go in intentionally with a budget. We were definitely broke because it was the pandemic, but we ended up spending total. I'm talking about, I fed the cast, wardrobe, everything. I spent maybe $200 max. got most of his stuff. I either went in his closet and reworked some things, or I found it on Amazon or at Goodwill. Or like his the 90s kind of hip hop thing. I got his shirt at City Trends for like $12. But yeah, I got very creative. I actually wanted to ask you, I'm not sure, I know I'm still at the beginning of my filmmaker journey, but you know how in filmmaking, whether you're at the bottom or at the top, you always have these moments where you bootleg stuff. Where you kind of you can
Oh yeah.
you find the thing that works, like
Oh
well, let's
yeah.
try this way. Let's put this in his face and see what happens.
Reinvent the
Reinvent
wheel.
everything. Yeah. And so we had a lot of that going on with, like I said, with his wardrobe and with the with his accessories and stuff. So
Yeah. Necessity is the mother of invention.
yes.
Well, and I think you said that your total budget, I just wanted to show you that I'm not wealthy. That's a green screen behind me. So that $15 million Giacometti sculpture, because I definitely want to invest in maybe your next film, but I'm not rich. But man, I can double your budget with $400 and I'm going to get a fucking Academy Award out of you,
Listen,
because you guys did a great job. So
I can make it work.
you know what? I mean, I'm going to flip you the $400 for the next one, because that is, we talk about this a lot on this program, being able to do things on a budget. And, this is all the time in Hollywood. Everybody's working with on each other's movies and everything as you're trying to come up and come along. But that, I mean, that definitely looked like it cost at least $400. No, I'm just kidding. That was a really damn good job. I would, I would make your budget much higher than $200. I mean, I don't know enough about it, but yeah, like it's hard to even get a camera running and people operating it for like less than $3,000.
Yeah,
for anything.
Yeah.
So
I'm telling you, my sales pitch. I have a hell of a sales pitch, and I just sold the hell out of the vision to the camera guy that we were dealing with. I'm like, look, this is what we're trying to do. This is the intention. This is what's going on. And then I'm just a very my strengths are also my weaknesses and vice versa. So I'm a perfectionist. I'm a time conscious person for the things that are really going to be beneficial to my future. I believe in that so much. And so, like Keith said, all the behind the scenes stuff, I had done so much work prior to getting there that the day that we got in the actual museum, I didn't know what to do because I had done everything. To the point I was trying to do other people's jobs. I'm like, all right, Keith needs to be in this. My wardrobe person, I hired someone, an assistant, to make sure Keith was getting dressed so I didn't have to worry about dressing him that day. And she was like, Amanda, like, you hired me to do, like, let me do it. I was like, I'm sorry.
Well,
but yeah.
you did one of the cardinal rules of filmmaking is pre-production.
Yes.
I want to do this music video for a friend of ours, and it's like, if we can really cut this down to the bone, if we can get this thing perfectly laid out, we can do it, because it just do a one take. Darion, in fact, suggested this. If we could do it in like 3 takes and be out of here, it'll be dirt cheap if we do 2 days of run through to have it perfect. And that could work, or 20 takes later, you're like, shit.
But like you said, the more you do, then by the time you get there, because that's where people, I feel, you waste a lot of money. You rent a space and then you spend a lot of your time in the space.
Oh, no.
Trying to choreograph, trying to rehearsal, and then you end up spending hours there. When you do that at home, when you come to the space, you do, you do the thing. But
right. And with storyboarding and animatics now and everything, I mean, shot by shot, frame by frame, angle by angle, you can have, 70% of your movie done before you hit record practically.
Yeah, exactly.
The excuses are very limited now.
Yeah.
Very limited.
Yeah. We even did when we did our we scouted, the location. I took my cameraman. We went on a walkthrough of the museum, prior to, like, maybe about a week before, and just sketched out everything, how we wanted to do it. So when we got in there, it was like clockwork, how we were able to get in and out. But.
Well, that's huge, Preston. I'm Prentice. I'm sorry, because it's it costs you money if something goes wrong. So the more things that you can make sure don't go wrong, because something's always going to go wrong. We had it here tonight,
Yeah,
right?
always happens.
Something is always going to go wrong, and you're going to have to think quickly on your feet and kind of figure it out. And I see that so much in this, in discussions around this, is just that more prepared you are. And you said it too, Amanda, about the lighting thing. And you said, we got lucky, but you didn't actually get lucky. You were so well prepared. I mean, there's some luck in there too, but in considerance of where you were, what you were doing, and how you had designed to do it, and you had all of the other things in place, that small thing didn't look huge because you had everything else kind of in play, right? It is,
right.
Yes, it could have been disastrous, but because you were just in the whole feeling of it, I think that's in those moments when that, there's some luck, but it's also because you worked your ass off, and even a big mistake could be mitigated by preparation.
End up changing everything. Yeah. And I'm gonna tell you another thing I've really learned on this whole journey is just that the story surpasses production. Of course, production is important. It's it's top tier, but at the end of the day, there are so many films that have the production budget and the story is ass. So you
can save a lot of money, buy a shitty script for $20,000 versus $1 million script.
So if that's like, I think you all were speaking about it earlier, if the story and the intentionality behind the story is there and what's trying to get across is there, because there's so many subtle nuances in the video that I really wanted to make sure was able to shine through, that clearly was able to shine through without me even telling you all. But so there's a part of the video when Keith is actually rapping at the end. So I don't know, you notice he has on a Free-ish t-shirt. He's under what's called Division Street. So Division, back in the day, if you were Black and you were not on your side of Division by a certain time, I want to say in Orlando it was like 6 p.m., then you could be hanged, you could be arrested, you could be killed, you could be beaten, whatever. You had to be on your side of Division. So ironically, that hotel sits right on Division Street. And it is in one of the most downtrodden neighborhoods, I want to say, in the country. It's called Paramore. And that's where Blacks used to live. And now that's where those shots are, those downtrodden houses and the mattresses in the street. That's that area that's still there. And it's right next to the Wells-Built Museum. What's interesting is right behind Keith as he's rapping is the stadium where the Magic plays basketball. And on the other side is the arena where I watched Beyonce perform. So there's lots of money, in and around the neighborhoods, but none going into helping, the people who are living there. And so that's why I really wanted him to have the Free-ish t-shirt under Division Street. I wanted to use the Dutch angle to pay homage to Spike Lee is one of my favorite, not to be cliche, but he's one of my favorite directors, obviously. And I wanted to use, that angle just in front, because I know some people were thinking we only filmed part of the video at the museum, but all of it was at the museum. It's just that specific part. We you couldn't see it, but it was right there. But it was right
even like
underneath.
me standing there. So there's a lot in front of the museum that's just grass and trees, and like 2 very large trees, and that opening scene is still me in front
of the museum. And what's interesting is that spot where Keith is standing for the slave scene is actually where the juke joint used to be. There used to be a juke joint on that lot, and the people who would stay in the hotel, they would go across the street to that juke joint, but they've torn it down since then. But that is that's where we shot.
And then
scene.
if you check they have a copy of the registry, and you'll see like Lionel Hampton, Ray Charles, all these, and you'll see like, I mean, what we would probably pay for a night, they were paying for like a week. Like $100.
They still have the book in there.
And then they also had the payment for the performers, so you would see what they got paid.
Like $8 or something, probably.
Something crazy.
It was very like, what guys are definitely making to back an artist on a tour. The headliner was making the whole thing. Like, that's just because obviously inflation and the value of what it was. But it's just interesting to see,
all of
who
those
was checking
things.
in, who was checking out, who was performing.
Or even the so the second scene where Keith is like in his Frederick Douglass kind of look with the vest and the glasses, that is a replica of like what the hotel rooms were like. It's the same, like it's the room and it's the furniture, but the furniture in that room is over 100 years old. So I had to be super strategic about how we did everything, because obviously those things are a piece of history, and we couldn't, you can't touch certain things, you don't want to
Right.
break, so we couldn't sit on the
Right.
furniture. For that particular scene, all we did was move the red velvet rope out of the shot. But yeah, just little things like that. Or like so Keith is a pianist, he's an incredible piano player, and when he's going through the time lapses in history, if you'll notice, he's beside like I don't know how old that piano
It's a
is.
player piano, but I'm not.
I think it's very old, but I intentionally had him stand there because the piano is on his left. So if you all, go back and see it, you can see. But it's just little things like that throughout. I wanted to be intentional about.
That's amazing. That's amazing that you
Thank
even
you.
thought to have that sort of detail was pretty incredible. Pretty
Thank
incredible.
you. Thank you.
Yeah,
I had a lot of time to read over the quarantine.
Well, you know what? The COVID and the quarantine and everything. We all know it's been this will never be forgotten, right? I mean, this, we've all collectively gone through something that is just still hard to fathom. But I do take joy when we find people that have been able to do something to uplift us, during this time. There's a lot of great stories of great things that, come out of these crises and everything. And I'm oddly grateful to it in the way that it, put me in a position to be able to do this. I'd love to be in that position and not, be like everybody else chasing the dollar. But, I'm loving doing this. And in a lot of ways, it was, life takes us where it takes us. So you
That's
guys
true.
are all of you are just phenomenally talented. And I'm very just so fortunate to be able to, meet folks like you, and just 100% look forward to getting to know you. And, I also just feel really lucky that, I mean, eventually, even when I was flying out to LA, this sudden trip to LA last week, and I had like 30 different people that we had been communicating or whatever back and forth. I spent like an hour and a half on the plane, just talking to, new friends that I've met like in the last 6 months from all over the world. I'm like, pretty soon I'm going to get so many friends. I'm just spend my whole day just saying hi because, it's like
It's quite a nice,
I went from
quite a nice problem.
yeah, well, I mean, it's pretty funny because the power of this. I mean, I've got some close friends in Texas, in Oregon, in Malaysia, and in Germany, like all over because of this internet thing and everything. So this is just great. I so look forward to seeing what you guys are doing, and however I can help, spread the word. I'm always available to do that, and for sure. We'll get in touch about doing the show on sampling. I think that'll be a blast too.
I'm down for that. That would be
That's gonna
a
be
dream come
great.
true for me.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think that'll be a great one. I'm gonna breathe because I do have to like decompress. Usually, like an hour after the show, I should just go out, wander around in the dark, cool air or something. Just chill, take my weed and chill. But because we had we didn't have 3 films at the end of the night, and this is really about what we did here tonight as much as about who's a winner or not. But it's easy tonight because for best music video ever on this program so far, it's the Phelps family. So you'll get the music video laurels for whatever those are worth. Maybe they'll be worth something someday. And then definitely Prentice gets the the best short film award of the night too. So you get the laurels as well.
Thank
So
you very much. Thank you very much.
yeah, very much so. It's fun to be like the, what is it, omnipotent or what? I get to be like the decider tonight. You know what I mean? So I'm just so excited that you guys were here and the connections that will come from this. I really do need to kind of set up some kind of like a chat group or something from all the folks that are on the show so they can just actually I do need to do that so you can make these connections and everything. So, and if you have any friends doing great stuff, let me know. Send them my way. If, you know, even if you see somebody, I tell this to people too, like, you know, we're starting to get, you know, enough people on here that we can sometimes ask, you know, like, hey, would you like to see that person on the show? Let me know, because people are starting to say yes now. So it's pretty fun. Okay. I mean, come on. Like, we're not, you know, Beyonce, that's not happening. But, you know, I mean, somebody that met her once, we might be able to get them. So, but yeah, if you've got any filmmakers you'd like to be on a show with or whatever, let me know. We'll see if we can make it happen and get you on there too. It just, we can have, this is supposed to be fun and uplifting, and just, you guys are great. I can't wait to see the next films from all of you.
Well, thanks for
Thank
having
you
us.
so much.
Thank you.
And PL, did you put like your social media handles in the comments or
Yeah.
whatever so we can? Okay, so
I'll connect you all on Instagram too.
Okay,
I'll do it right
sounds
after
good.
the show, so that you're all good together. Yeah, just reach out if you need anything. You're all on a computer, so you'll actually hang out after I hit the end button. So stick around for just a minute, and I'll come right back to you.
Cool.
And all right, just as we're bouncing out of here, ooh, wow, we're just barely over the 2-hour mark. That's pretty good for us. Got a case need? You know, you need a case? Come on down. Just $19.99. Come on. Here we go. Yeah, they're more than that. But Scooch Case. Go to scoochcase.com, buy their cases. They make good cases. And I wouldn't if I'm gonna huck something to you, if I'm going to be a huckster, it's going to be quality stuff though. So, and I'll huckst whatever anybody wants me to, just pay me. And this is just a very fun night. Super grateful for everybody that helped put this together every week. You know, Kizzy and Joy helps out, and we've just got a phenomenal amount of people at HAPS and everything that are helping us do all this. And huge thanks out there to people. Next week, I think we're just going to have kind of an open one again. We're getting ready for a theme tonight with a filmmaker, so we won't announce that yet. But we're going to do another specific filmmaker theme night, like we've done a few times, and have the filmmaker here. So that's going to be fun. And we do have. I can't mention any names, but keep your fingers crossed. We've got some very interesting filmmakers. Who you will know that are well enough known that are doing some stuff that I think we're going to put some things together. So it's going to be really, really fun. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Hit me up on IG if you need anything, got a question, know somebody that should be on the show, or you should be on the show. You know, let me know. We're here to promote good work. And as I always say to anybody, make sure before you recommend a friend, you've seen the film, because I've almost caught that on this show. Like, oh, my friend, yeah, you could show your film, and I'm like, what am I going to do if it sucks? So, you know, I just like to have fun with that a little bit. Appreciate everybody coming out here tonight, and we will see you on Monday on the big interview program, and that is at 10 p.m. Eastern, like I should know. At 7 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern, the big interview, and we will see you then. Peace be with you, and namaste.